Trey Review is here with a top 10 list that doesn't quite make sense. Many an NPC will give you tasks to complete that includes this and that, but ever come across an order and gone, wait, what did you just say? This is a list of the top 10 strangest video game tasks. These could be tasks that either sound incredibly ridiculous, or ones that blatantly won't actually accomplish anything. So, how many fists in the air? Quick, stab me in the chest! And thanks for answering my question, by the way, number 10 intro. Well, we start this list off with what many of us presume to be a harmless request at first, or at the least, harmless to us, but it stood out for me as a really bizarre thing to ask of us right at the start of the game. In this section, you play as Keanu Alvane as you make your escape, but the front door is a no-go, so you and your rescuer head to the roof. You block the door as the enemy approaches, and then your buddy turns to you and goes, "Quick, stab me in the chest!" Why? No time, do it now! Is this a wind-up? Hang on, am I on TV? Now, you have the option of not stabbing him in the chest, in which case he does it himself, and the purpose of this is to open up a portal out of the prison by using his blood, but because he doesn't explain this beforehand, I thought it was a really weird thing to ask of me at the time. Wanna support your enemy? Papers, Please is a game that I think I will always love. It lets you be as racist as you want, and there are no repercussions. Wait, that came out wrong. Your task is to keep control of the border as you make decisions as to who should enter the country and who shouldn't, all while an oppressive communist country is breathing down your neck, making sure that you're doing your job properly. But then comes the EZIC, an enemy revolutionary order that wants to enlist your help in bringing your country down from within. They approach you and slip you classified documents in the hopes of recruiting your help. But the whole thing just screamed strange to me. They've just approached a representative of their enemy and gone, "You want to help us out in bringing down your country?" No! Come on, get out of here, you! Want me to help out the enemy? Good one. Killing loads of colossi will bring your dead wife back. Hold the phone for a second! Someone is about to say something bad about Shadow of the Colossus? No. Why do people think that just because a game gets mentioned on a negative list, it therefore means I don't like it? Look, I love this game. But having said that, I did think it's strange that the only way to bring my dead wife back from the grave was to go forth into the world and kill some giant creatures. How is more death going to overcome death? Yes, I know, we were being had from the start, but I called it for what it was the moment I was given that order. A waste of time when looking for some sort of herbal remedy, even though that wouldn't have worked either, would be time better spent than killing a load of creatures that have no relation to my wife. Allies for Bruma! Anyone else ever loaded up Oblivion again to give it another go? All hyped about playing this game, right up until it dawns on you that, Allies for Bruma. In a nutshell, if you follow the main quest line, you later find out that a battle is going to take place and you need soldiers for it. So you're told that the only way to do this is to go to every major city and ask the local lord or lady for support. The problem is that every single fucking one of them tells you to jog on because they've got an Oblivion gate right outside of their walls, and unless you close it for them, then piss off. So you go about and close all of these gates, which takes a long time to do, but once you're done, you get the support you need, which usually amounts to about 2 to 3 soldiers per town. Oh, thanks a fucking million, Anvil. I saved your town, yet you only have 2 soldiers to spare, and you won't sell me property. It makes me wonder what you have to do to earn the trusts of these lords. Anyway, back to the point. But the whole thing ends up being completely redundant the moment you decide to go, you know what, fuck it. I'm the one closing these gates, so I'll fight this battle on my own. Bruma doesn't need any help but from me. But then, after chinning off all the other cities, and naturally not getting the men to help, you show up on the battlefield, and Bruma has provided all the men they needed. So what was the point in going round to all of these towns and cities when we had all of the support we ever wanted right here in Bruma? It makes you wonder what was going through Joffrey's mind when he gave you this quest. He probably just wanted you to fuck off out of his sight.
Take me down.
Dressing up as a woman to seduce a mafia boss. I struggled to come up with entries for this list, but after asking a friend on what would be the most bizarre thing anyone has ever asked him to do in a video game, he immediately reminded me of a good one. Near the start of Final Fantasy VII, you're tasked with infiltrating a mafia boss's mansion and confronting him. The catch is, though, is that you can't just kick down the door and shoot up the place. You've got to have a disguise, and it just so happens that he has a weakness for hot girls. Turns out he has another weakness. Presumably Japanese dudes dressed up as hot girls. Now, if you want to go for a minimal effort disguise, then you'll soon get found out, but if you want to go full retard, then there is so much work to do in preparing your disguise, from the dress, to the wig, to perfume and makeup. It makes me laugh though when you get brought before the Don and he has to make a decision about which girl he wants to spend the night with, either Tifa, Eris, and you, and he ends up picking you. I would have loved it had there been like a game show wrong buzzer appear when he chooses you, and then a voice comes through the speakers saying, "I'm sorry, that is the incorrect answer. Contestant number 3 is actually a dude." But the whole thing is just really strange. Stay here, die, and not achieve anything. I know I've mentioned this one before, but still, this order just doesn't sit right whatever way you look at it. You've reached the centre of the box dimension, and now this Sumerian priest is telling you to close the gates. By doing so, you'll stop this nightmare from spreading once again, and in turn, you'll temporarily save the world. The catch is that you're letting the firstborn go free, and you're sacrificing your life, and the lives of your teammates, so that you can all suffer in agony for all time. Sounds believable at first, until I considered the alternative option. Tell the priest to fuck off and kill the firstborn right here and now. That was our original mission anyway, to end the firstborn once and for all. And we still have time to do it, so what's the point of just giving up right here? Thankfully, Delgado was thinking the same thing and started to kick up a fuss, and you do end up killing the priest instead and continuing the mission. But despite how that priest put it, he was essentially asking you to stay here, die horribly, and fail your mission for the greater good, even though it's not for the greater good. I realised that the priest was just trying to trick you, but I didn't think he did a very good job at convincing me. Maybe next time, try to come up with a method that doesn't involve us committing suicide for no apparent reason, you jerk. Spraying cream cheese into a guy's face. Almost lost it when I said that. Now we can all agree that cheese is awesome. If I had to list the 3 inventions that defined human evolution, then it'd be the sandwich, hoodies, and cheese. Oh, and the invention of beer. Gotta thank the ancient Egyptians for that one. But despite the fact that we all love cheese, this love is sometimes abused. Ladies and gentlemen, the jury, I give you Exhibit A. A dude you come across in jazz punk who loves cheese so much that he tasks you with spraying a can of cream cheese straight into his mouth. In fact, he's not too fussed if you happen to get it all over his face. Now, I understand that jazz punk is loaded with all manner of strange and bizarre moments, such as having a pillow fight with a girl and hitting her so hard that she flies out of the window to her death, but for me, the single most weirdest request anyone makes of you in that game is the act of spraying cream cheese into some random guy's face. Because it wasn't enough for him to spray it into his own mouth, no, he needed that extra buzz that can only come from someone else doing it for him instead. Jazz punk, ladies and gentlemen. Tiger escort missions! Don't get the wrong impression. Now that I think about it, the most normal factor about this list is that the Saints Row series makes an appearance on it. Actually, the last 2 entries deserve to be on here as well, but the Saints Row games are just so chock full of weird and over-the-top missions and events that it'd be strange if they weren't on here. Now, the missions in Saints Row 2, where you have to go about throwing shit at people's houses out of a cannon that's attached to a van, almost made it on here, but when I stopped to think about it, the Tiger escort missions just seem to take it to a whole new level. Now, what ways can you think of that can help you learn to remain calm under pressure? Some sort of sports activity, perhaps? Maybe being put in charge of a team and trying to unite everyone under the same goal? Perhaps even learning different meditation techniques to calm the mind. No, the only way you can learn that shit is by going for a drive around town with a tiger in the passenger seat and trying not to piss it off. You need to drive very smoothly and gently about the place and not crash into anything, otherwise the tiger will maul you. I know that this is Saints Row we're talking about here, but Why is there a tiger in my car? And considering that the entire drive can be defined as treading on eggshells, I'd like to point out that between myself and a tiger, I'm the one who's the endangered species here. Surely there's a better way of teaching me to be calm than by putting me in the most nerve-wracking yet bizarre situation that I could think of. Quick, shoot me in the face! Possibly one of the funniest missions you'll ever be given, this insane bandit in Borderlands 2 is in urgent need of someone to shoot him in the face. For what end, I just simply don't know, but what I do know is that you can either just shoot him in the face, or if you want to get bonus points here, you'll get more of a reward by shooting him in every part of his body first before moving on to the face. But I challenge anyone to find another game out there where an enemy runs up to you, begging you to kill them really quickly as if their life depended on it. Well, I suppose saying that, this guy's life does depend on whether you shoot him in the face or not. Go inside Mr. Slave's ass! And finally... I don't want to think about this one. South Park The Stick of Truth wasn't good in terms of gameplay, but was brilliant in terms of humour. I was laughing the entire way through it, especially the part when you go to Canada. But the single most bizarre and strangest order you'll receive in this game is to shrink down in size and go up into Mr. Slave's ass so that you can disarm a nuclear device that's been hidden up there. I'm going to let that one sink in for a second. If you're a fan of the South Park series, then you'll most likely be aware of what's already up Mr. Slave's ass, as well as the consequences of going up there in the first place. I did think it was hilarious though, when you're given this mission, that you're still in control of your character, and the moment I was first given that mission, I turned around and walked out of the room, at which point I got a cutscene of a nuclear device going off, with the South Park credits following soon afterwards. But that aside, being asked to save the world by going up into a perverted dude's ass is by far the single most bizarre video game order that I've ever encountered. And it's that time to end the video again, but if you've been asked to... Nope, not going to finish that sentence. Then like and subscribe as always. Don't forget to check out Twitter to find out what's up next and when, and there's also Patreon as well. See ya!